This is the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent podcast hosted by me, Kelly Donahue-Piro. This show is for growing agencies looking to maximize their biggest investment, their people. We mash up our 3-minute videos from the previous week, all with tips on how to be ridiculously amazing at insurance sales, retention, processes, marketing, running an agency, and time management. If you want them daily, like us on social media as they're posted. But let's get started. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, depending on when you're viewing or listening this. This is Kelly Donahue-Piro here, and we are breaking down our concept on cross-selling. And cross-selling is so critical for every agency. One, it's a lead in your agency that you already have. They've already said yes to you. You can bring your clients so much value between combining, saving time, potentially saving money, and making sure it's done right. And so that's why we're focused for the next few weeks just on cross-selling so that your team has a foundational process for it. We're also launching our How to Cross-Sell Insurance training module, and it's awesome. It's covering so much great stuff. But the crux of what we do here is we set a foundation of what we call LEE, L-E-E. And you're going to hear that broken down in these videos. It's look, educate, and encourage. And we're going to see what each one of those means and then wrap it up in a nice little bow. But you don't need to hear me in the intro. Let's dive into LEE and how LEE can help your agency cross-sell. All right, so let's start with the first L, LEE, in our little acronym here, which is, look, educate, and encourage. So L is look. This is the first step. It's pivotal. If people aren't looking at the accounts when they call in, there's no chance that we're ever going to get to educate. We have to slow down to speed up in insurance and take a moment, deep breath, look at the account and say, oh, I see they have auto only, or I see they have home auto in good limits to go for umbrella, or hey, they're growing. Let me go take a look and make sure their EPLI is in place. And we have to slow down in insurance to look. One of our biggest challenges with cross-selling is time, is we think I'm going to cross-sell when all my other work is done. The other work will never be done, and that's the challenge. So watch our video on how to get your team to look at the accounts, and it's a good video to share with everybody. Stop, take a deep breath, look, and then we can move forward with the education piece. Take a look at this video. Hi everyone, it's Kelly Donahue-Piro here. So we are in the middle of our launch of our new course on how to cross-sell insurance, and it's awesome because it is such a huge strategy for agencies, but all too often we're so focused on new business that we forget about our current customers. And we get so caught up into all the things we have to do for the day, we don't always just take time. And so we have this principle called LEE, L-E-E, and we go over it in detail in the course. And LEE stands for look, educate, and encourage. And so when you have either a renewal or a customer calls in, or you're making an outbound call, your first step is always going to be to look at the account. What do they have and what do they not have? Now, we like agencies, or we like clients to have what we call 4 and score, which is 4 policies on each account. Now, is that possible for everybody? No, but it is possible on the majority of accounts in most independent agencies. So step 1 of LEE is look. So we need to start training ourselves when clients call in or any interaction happens. The first step we always do is look at an account. And I'm going to even put an asterisk here separate from cross-selling. We should also look at the activities on the account. Sometimes there's an open activity that we can just cross out right here, right now, get it out of the way. But when we stop and slow down the conversation and we look, sometimes we find some pretty cool stuff, whether it be a quote that we did in the past and never moved forward, or we found out they had something and they canceled it, gives us the opportunity. But when we have a plan, we're more likely to make the ask on the cross-sell. And people can't get quotes if they don't know that we do it. People can't get quotes if we don't make the recommendations. And that's why L of LEE is so important. It starts the entire process of cross-selling. So we have to kind of train our brains to slow down, to speed up, to make sure we're looking at accounts, not just saying, okay, I changed the vehicle, I took the payment, I did this. That's a very big checkbox as opposed to an outcome. And when most people only talk to their agent once every 3 years, in personal lines especially, that's an opportunity. But we need to just slow down, look at each account. We like to say, maybe you need to have a little ritual for each account or a little strategy. Every time someone calls in, I check the contact information, I look at activities, do a quick scan for what they have and what they don't have.
That allows us to start the process. Our next step is E, which is education. So look, educate, and encourage. So we're going to dive into education tomorrow. Can't educate though if we don't look. So our first strategy is slow down, look at every account. This is a huge theme in our course. So if your team needs help cross-selling, I'm going to be honest, many people have never gotten a plan how to cross-sell, what to do about it. And this is the plan your agency needs. So take a moment and take a look at our course. We're doing a big special just until the end of June, and we love to or the end of July. We love to welcome you as a new student in the course. Take care. All right, next step in Lee, look, we're on educate. So a lot of times people get kind of tripped up on the word selling, cross-selling. And we always say, how about cross-educating? Because if we educate and we do it the right way, people naturally want the policies we're talking about. And for so many people, they don't understand insurance. They don't understand how it works. It's our job to educate. So Lee, look, educate is next. So let's take selling out of it and go with education. Allowing people to know what policies you do or what you recommend is the first start for them being able to get a quote and potentially purchase. But if we don't take that step of educating them, they can't buy something that they don't know that you do or don't know exists. And whose responsibility is that? It's ours. It's not theirs to figure that out as their agent. So let's review that topic in this video.
Hey everyone, Kelly donahue-piro here, and now we're on to our cross-selling strategy, part 2 of Lee. So L-E-E, Lee stands for look, educate, and encourage. So yesterday's video was all on look. We got to look at the file, look at the account instinctively on every inbound call so we can make a recommendation. The next step is educate. So it's not sell. We want to move into cross-education versus cross-sells, because when a client is educated, there literally are no downsides. So the client knows more, they know we do it, they know the rough estimate of a cost potentially, we document it in the management system, all the good things happen, and we get more practice on how to cross-educate. So there is no downside to a cross-education. Even if you get a no, it still moves the ball forward. I like to think about sales a little bit like a football field. You win football games with first downs, and it's no different with cross-education. Sometimes we need to educate, and they may come back when you do a renewal review or next time they call in, but the idea is we keep moving forward. So along those same lines, one of the things I want to make sure we talk a little bit more about in detail is the education piece. So people need to understand how the policy works, and that means we need to avoid insurance lingo. We also need to be able to tell a compelling story. I'm still surprised today at how few people can tell a good umbrella story or a good strategy on, really going ahead and explaining a coverage without using technical insurance terms. And storytelling is so key because you want to basically hook the person into, well, what would happen if? What would happen if there was a slip and fall at your pool? What would happen if your apartment did burn down? What would happen if your car was broken into? What would happen if, someone had a glass of wine at your house and got into a car accident? What would happen if the Amazon delivery driver fell on your property? What would happen if we did have one of those every 100-year floods in your town? You want to think about the storytelling story. Well, what would happen if? Let me explain to you how that works. Because at the very end, people are grateful that you tell them something they didn't understand in a way that makes sense to them. And when we can really dive deep into the storytelling component, it shares to them not only how it works, but why it's important. Now, some people may give you some pushback. Oh, that'll never happen to me. And I love this return, which is, it's happened enough times that there's coverage for it. And that kind of just opens up people's minds like, it's happened enough times, there's coverage for it. So, maybe you don't think it's going to happen to you, which we hope it doesn't, but it could. And that's the main game point. So think about that in a perspective that we can really try to help cross-educate our clients on these policies, whether it's a policy within their agency or a policy that you have in your own backyard. So that's our video tip for today. Tomorrow we're going to go to encourage, which is, hey, they might say no, give you some pushback, but how do we encourage them to just think a little harder about that cross-education? We'll see you in a little bit.
Hey everyone, it's Kelly donahue-piro here, and we're so excited because we're launching our next online course, which is all on how to cross-sell. And we're going to take cross-selling from new business to renewal to inbound service calls, and even there might be a bonus section in there on outgoing calls if you want to make proactive outgoing calls. We've got all sorts of stuff in here, from role-playing videos to scripts
to outlines. It's just a really robust course, and we confront a lot of false beliefs that hold us back from hitting our cross-selling potential. So if cross-selling is on your mind, this is the course for you. You've got 2 ways to get it. The first way is you can subscribe to our online school. We have sales training, renewal review call training, time management, how to reduce remarketing, and how to turn inbound calls into opportunity, all in that school. So it's kind of like you get access to everything. And any course we launch in the future, you also get access to. So that's a huge opportunity. Or you can buy just this one course outright. We're doing it as a special for $495. That is only good till the end of July, so you'll get that until July 31st, 2021. After that, it'll go up to $995. You can buy that at any time in our store, but it will be there. So if you're interested, let's get on it. Let's get it today. Help your team cross-sell with a plan. I know a lot of times agencies will say, oh, just cross-sell, cross-sell, cross-sell. But most people in the front line need a little bit of a game plan and need to have some strategies that they can rely on. So this is the plan for you. I can't wait to see how your agencies do on cross-selling and take advantage of it. It launches July 15th. So if you're watching this a few days in advance because we're pumping it up, mark it on your calendar, watch your email, watch your social media, and you will get alerted on when you can hop on that opportunity. We'll see you then, guys.
All right, here's our next video, which is the final step. Look, educate. Step number 3, encourage. And so many people are just predisposed to say no to things. You know, I go to McDonald's and I say, no, I don't want any French fries. But if they say, do you want an apple pie? I'm like, yes. So we have to understand that for many people, they weren't expecting to deal with their insurance today in this manner. That's okay, though. I don't want that to be a speed bump for us. But what does mean we have to encourage people. So I encourage you to take another look at this. It's really important we look at your auto. Or hey, I encourage you to take another look at this. You have a swimming pool. We really should think about this umbrella policy. It's not selling. It's not hardcore smash you across the face. It's encouraging people to take a second look when you get a no. Because we can't just say, you know, offered umbrella, check, move on to the next thing. When we don't make it seem important to clients and to say, oh, okay, no problem, let me move on to the next thing. What we're doing is showing clients that policy may not be important or this discount may not be as important. So I think you need to really focus your energy into the idea of encouraging your clients to take another look. That's what we cover in this video. Hi everyone, so now we're on the 3rd letter in Lee, which is look, educate, and encourage. And this is all tips on cross-selling and can go in alignment with our new How to Cross-Sell Insurance course. And why I love encourage is, again, we're into cross-education. We're really trying to develop this relationship with clients. And so we don't always want to beat them over the head and say, buy this policy now. Sometimes we have to encourage them. And what encouragement does is when someone's feeling let down or feeling like they don't want to do something, encouragement is the key that helps unlock everything to get us to think a little differently. And so while someone may say, no, I don't want renter's insurance, I don't want umbrella, I'm not interested in EPLI, we need to encourage them to take another look at that. Because based on our expertise, our knowledge, and the awareness that we have that there may be a coverage gap, our role as an agent is not to just take that and say, okay, you don't want it, check box, I've done my job. We want to instead take the opportunity to encourage. And encouragement looks something along the lines of, hi, I understand that maybe adding another insurance investment into your budget was not something you were thinking about today. However, I really encourage you to look at this again. Because you have a swimming pool, there's an additional layer of risk. And I think we'd both be disappointed in the event of a claim if you didn't have enough coverage. Can I ask you to re-review this policy? It's something I really believe in that you need. And encouragement is really linked to belief. You have to believe that they need it. And if you're just checkboxing away, you're going to have some scenarios there that you let yourself down and your client down because you're not hitting your cross-selling potential. So encouragement is not beating people over the head like a slimy salesperson. Encouragement is asking people to take another look at something we all know that they should reconsider. When we encourage, at that point, if they say no, you're fine, but we don't want to take a first no and say, okay, and keep moving. You really want to have a few more strategies in your pocket. That's our tip for today. We're going to tie it all together with Lee. What that stands for, again, it's look, educate, and encourage. And that's a big strategy for cross-selling success.
I'll see you in tomorrow's video.
All right, so we have a final video here, which is we pulley together. So that's look, educate, and encourage. And just giving those steps to people is important. If you can kind of get that acronym going in your agency, which this training does, it covers so much great stuff. Cross-selling on inbound calls, cross-selling at renewal, cross-selling on new business, cross-selling lender leads, cross-selling between personal and commercial. We break it all down into steps that just drive awareness in your agency, but also give people action items. There's scripts involved, role-playing videos, so people can see how easy it truly is. A lot of times we kind of get hung up in our head of, I've got so much to do. If I cross-sell or ask, I'm going to have to quote it and bind it and service it. And oh my gosh, that's so much. I can't keep up with what I'm doing. We have to unpack that for sure, because a cross-sell lead bumps retention. It's high quality, good closing ratio, and most importantly, it's free. So when insurance leads are sometimes going for $280 a click on Google, we need to address this. And so we tie it all together in a nice little bow for everybody in this final video.
Hey everyone, so want to pull together what we talked about this week a little before the mashup, because it's a 3-step process for cross-selling. And I love acronyms because I think it helps people kind of identify the importance of cross-selling. The first step is everybody has to have the intention to cross-sell. And the biggest hurdle we see is time and comfort level. And the idea is with time, and one of the pushback we get on cross-selling is I don't have time for that, because we think that 100% of the quotes that we go ahead and we ask for are going to happen. And we like to say, no, you're cross-educating, you're going to plant a garden. And so it can't be what comes first. We have enough time to cross-sell or cross-sell. Clients are best served having one agent for simplicity, coverage gaps, cost, and time savings. We have to get that through our head. And that's why we broke it down into 3 steps. Look, which is first. If you don't do this step, it's not like you can go to educate or encourage. It just doesn't work. And that's a problem. So what we need to really be focused on is looking at accounts, slowing down, not just taking the payment, changing the vehicle, doing the cert. Stop, look at the account for a moment, look at the open activities, look at the contact information. If there's one gift I could give to insurance agents, it's slow down. 30 seconds is invaluable when reviewing everything. Slow it down, review everything, get your game plan together. Once you look, you can now educate. Say, hey, I noticed, bop, 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 bop. And the important thing about the, hey, I noticed, I'm on top of this, is that, we can now look at the trusted advisor, tell people something they didn't know, and start the process. I want you to think of cross-selling like a football game. We're going to keep moving the ball down the field. Some people will say yes right away, and that's an awesome feeling, but patience is really critical in cross-selling. And the last step is encourage. So look, educate, encourage. And we want to encourage people. So when they say, oh, I don't think I need an umbrella policy, I really want to encourage you to take another look at this. And here's why. And when we encourage, people take it seriously. They look at us as the expert. When we say, oh, I'm not interested in umbrella. Okay, guess what? They will never take it seriously. So we need to take the step of encouraging people, not selling them, not beating them over the head, not being sleazy, encouraging people. And that is our true key to success. So we really recommend that you take a look at our new cross-selling course. This is just one of the components in it. We talk about how to cross-sell a new business, renewals, inbound service calls, having an outbound campaign. We talk about marketing strategies. We also talk about lender leads, and we talk about how to cross-sell cyber and EPLI, umbrella, and life insurance. So it's a really, really robust course. And it's designed specifically to make sure everybody is comfortable cross-selling, understand how it works, and the logic behind a really great cross-selling strategy. But the reality is leads are very expensive today in insurance. We need better strategies to help grow our agencies. And there is no better way to grow, because cross-sold accounts go ahead and boost retention, and they help bring new revenue into the agency. We also talk about how to cross-sell between different departments. So if you're struggling and you know your team needs help cross-selling, this is the course for you. You can take it at your own pace, and there's role-playing videos. We have so much in here that I just think is going to be so valuable to agencies who are excited to start cross-selling at a higher level. Take a look. You can, check out the course. We're doing it at $495 until the end of July 2021. So we hope to see you there. Take care.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for participating in this week's videos on lead and cross-selling, because it's such a key component to agencies. In fact, their studies show that 98% of agencies feel cross-selling is critical, but only 40% feel that they do it well. That's why we need to empower our team with better tools, better system, and just general awareness of it. When we do this training live with agencies, the biggest feedback is it's motivational and it's a good reminder, because sometimes we forget. So even if you can get a little farther ahead, it's a huge, huge win. Check out our online course. We're doing a big special, $495. You own the course, or you could subscribe and get all our courses for $245 a month. But we're only doing that special at $495 until the end of July. So take a look. Hope to see you as a new student. Any questions, reach out and let us know. Have a great day.